He's one of the leading cybersecurity venture capitalists in the world, and I asked him how he sees the global state of data protection.
Let me start with the bad news. The bad news is that your firewalls are cracked, your antiviruses is very much like overused antibiotics, right? The viruses that are already out there are mutated and can easily go through your antiviruses. And last is, while we were protecting and guarding the main door, all the thieves came in through the window. In other words, while most of the defense was put around servers and PCs, a lot of the new generation of attacks are actually coming through mobile devices, tablets, and other new types of devices which are out there.
At this point, though, is technology, Gadi, keeping up with the cyber threat, or not even close?
You know, so we were hosting actually a panel of all the many of the new exciting startups in the field, and there are some very interesting technologies that comes to our help. One, there is a whole new generation of anomaly detection technologies. If you want to think about it, think about actually trying to find the needle in the haystack when you don't know what the needle looks like. And that's, you know, the kind of algorithms that were developed over the years are pretty amazing.
That's pretty difficult. Sounds like, though, for you, someone who's looking for investment opportunities, and then there's a lot of areas that where you can kind of devote capital at this point.
Absolutely, and some of the vehicles that we put together to actually explore these opportunities go as early as actually setting up a unique cyber incubator in the south of Israel, in the city of Beersheba, where all the military technology units are and the Ben Gurion University is. And what we're doing there, we're actually tapping into the best talent out of the academia, out of the military units, and building companies around them.
Gadi, as you know, cybersecurity is really becoming a diplomatic issue at this point. You've got Chinese hackers infiltrating American weapons systems. At the same time, you've got the recent revelation about U.S. data collection. So how do you, as a private investor, kind of negotiate these issues? It's pretty tough.
You know, so we have this saying, as you know, that if you live in a house with glass windows, don't walk around naked, okay? So really what we've seen over the last couple of years is technologies that help us as individuals and as enterprises to protect our data from Big Brother. Just a couple of years ago, we sold one of our companies, Navajo Systems, to Salesforce.com. They actually dealt with encrypting your data, your personal data, as it goes up to the cloud. So when you upload a document to Google Docs, this document can only be viewed by you and cannot be intercepted or viewed by the Google system administrator, and as we know, not by any nation that might be cooperating with those large companies.
Gadi, like Wall Street, though, there was a point when we thought junk bonds were really sophisticated investment vehicles. Now they're kind of just plain vanilla, if you will, because it gets more and more sophisticated on Wall Street. Same for cybersecurity and just everything that's going on in the cyber world. It continues to get more and more complicated. Can technology to protect personal information, to protect data, keep up with those who are trying to hack into that information?
So first of all, what we've seen over the last 2 years is really a boom in the creation of new startups. In some cases, these are people that were on the offense that moved over to the defense, so they're actually familiar with some of the new ways of attacking your system, and they are the best defenders as well. And you know, the way we deal with it as an investment vehicle in JVP, as a leading venture capital in cybersecurity, is actually creating a lot of startups that specialize in different areas. Not all of them graduates and turn out to be significant companies, but actually the ones that do have a very interesting landscape in front of them right now.
Gadi, one last question. I mean, what do you think is the most interesting development at this point, investment opportunity, when it comes to cybersecurity at this point?
So one of the most interesting areas is, like, you know, think about it as your border control. This was the old firewalls. Now all the threats are actually within the organization. One of the companies that we've been investing in and is gaining a lot of momentum is CyberArk, which is very much like your secret service. Okay, it's actually protecting the most critical assets of your organization, the president, if you wish, and that's really where we moved into. It's the second line of defenses. It's really sensing what's happening within the organization, trying to identify those malwares.